Welcome to the aftermarket analysis session, just like every day. As usual, today also at 5 p.m. in the evening, we will do the aftermarket analysis. In this, we will look at the Indian markets Nifty and Bank Nifty to see where buyers came in today and where sellers appeared. How the footprint gave confirmation, we will also discuss that. If you are new and want to learn order flow or want to learn how to use GoCharting properly, then you can join this daily webinar at 5 p.m. in the evening. You will get the link to this webinar on GoCharting's Discord and Telegram community before 5 p.m. So, in any case, if you happen to miss this webinar, you can watch the recording of this webinar on all GoCharting YouTube channels. I have pinned the links to GoCharting's YouTube channels and GoCharting's community in the message, and you will also find them in the description of this webinar's recording. Okay. In any case, if you are using GoCharting at that particular time, you can also access the webinar by clicking on it from the top right corner here. Okay. So before we properly read the footprint, let's first look at the volume profile here to see what confirmations we had from yesterday's volume profile. Today is also a heavy news day in the US market. So maybe that's why the volume appears to be low here. Okay. So let's remove today's session. Here you go. So what did we get here? Which levels did we mark yesterday? Yesterday, the market didn't move much. It was mostly sideways. Okay. So, note the volume of yesterday's market. Okay. And this range that the market has created for so many days, the entire VPOC zone, all were at the same level. Okay. So we had marked this zone. This was the VPOC zone for yesterday as well as for the last few sessions. Along with that, we had also marked yesterday's high on the upside because the day before yesterday's VPOC zone was also there. In any case, if it moved further up, we had a good volume node around this high as well. Okay, if it broke below this, then there was also a volume node here from the last few sessions. To put it simply, if we look only at the right side profile, we have marked the volume nodes from the last few sessions here. Okay. Now based on these same volume profile nodes, we will see how the order flow gave confirmation, where the buyers came in, where the sellers came in, and we will try to read these buyers and sellers on the footprint. Okay, my text size here is 80. If you also look at Bank Nifty, even in Bank Nifty these days, it usually moves around 120 to 150. Okay, and in Nifty, a tick size of 80 works quite well. Okay, so just like every day, you should know what delta is, because with the help of delta, we are going to read the footprint here. Now, what is delta? It is the difference between buyers and sellers. Look at the first candle. These are the footprints of the first candle. On the right side, there are buyers. On the left side, we have sellers. We add up all the buyers on the right side and assume, let's say, the value comes out to be 2.5 lakh. Okay, the plus sign is for buyers. And again, we add up all the sellers on the left side. What is the total for this? 1 lakh negative. So if we subtract both, what comes out here is plus 1.5 lakh, meaning there are 1.5 lakh more buyers compared to sellers. The same order flow has shown us here inside the green box that 150K means there are 1.5 lakh more buyers. Okay, now look at the next candle. The same thing will apply here as well. What is here? Alright, since there were more buyers here, we call this a positive delta. Positive delta means there are more buyers, which is equal to buyers. This shows the strength of the buyers in it. This is a negative candle. Inside this candle, there are more sellers. Okay, so what is the value of its delta? Minus 72,000. This means that just like there were more buyers in the first candle, now there are more sellers in this candle. How many? 72,000. Okay, we call this a negative delta value inside the red box, and see here, there is a negative sign in front of the value. So that means inside this candle, there are more sellers. Wherever there are more sellers, we call it that. The negative delta is higher, okay. Negative delta simply means it is equal to sellers, so this is what delta is. Later on as well, whenever buyers are more, the value will be shown in the green box. When sellers are more, the value will be in the red box along with the negative sign. Now, let's talk about both negative and positive delta together. For example, look at the delta of the first candle. It's 150, the delta of the second candle is 72,000, and then look at this candle, 10,000, 9,000, just 10,000, just 17,000, just 7,000, 3,825. This means the value of the first two candles is very high. If the delta and the value of the other candles are low, then what can we predict from this? That the candles with a heavy delta are the ones where there is a lot of buying and selling, and these are the candles that clearly indicate the market direction. On the other hand, the candles with a low delta value do not have the potential to actually move the market in any particular direction. So here, which candles footprints will we read? We will read the footprints of those candles. The candles whose positive delta is quite solid. Okay, so let's read the first candle. The special thing about the first candle is that there is always a lot of buying and selling within it. Okay, so you need to read its buying and selling a bit carefully, or you can even skip it if you want. Suraj, you leave once and join again because everyone else can see the screen. Otherwise, by now there would have been 10 to 12 messages already. Earlier also, what did we discuss? That we will read those candles which have a heavy delta. Okay, look at the first candle. It has a pretty significant heavy delta. Now, how will we read this footprint? What did the delta indicate? Boss. There are 1.5 lakh more buyers in this candle. So, which side is the buyer's side? The right side. Alright, we will look at all the buyers on the right side once, and then we will see which particular area has the most buying. This is that area. We have marked this entire area. I mean, just look at this 17, 40, 1200, and 2,500, okay, and here you see buying of 93,000, 51,000, 46, 27, 36. That means this is the area where today's highest buying activity has happened. So, we have marked this area. Now, this was yesterday's high. Once this yesterday's high was broken, what confirmation did the order flow give? That buyers had come in here. Okay. Now, what happened in the next candle? The next candle formed a red candle, and the delta of this candle was negative. So, the buying activity that happened in the first candle, after that buying activity, the market didn't go up, right? Nifty didn't go up. Where did it go? It came down, meaning there was buying activity, but the price still came down. No problem. So why is there no problem? Because we know there is a concept called buying absorption. What this means is that whenever you see buying activity, but the price doesn't go up, and after that buying activity, the price actually goes down. So, the buying activity that happened within that candle will now act as resistance because the buyers have been absorbed there. The next candle moved downwards. Again, There is a significant negative delta, so we will do the same thing again. What is delta? Negative means there are more sellers, it has gone to the seller's side, and we looked for the place where there were the most sellers. We saw only one order, a selling activity of 38K. Alright, and now look at the next few candles. If we mark this zone of 38K, then in the next few candles, this zone was broken. So, what have we seen so far? This was the most important zone. It was the VPOC zone, and there was a buying absorption here. In this candle, there was selling activity at 38K and a little bit here as well. But in this candle, all the selling zones got broken. So, it doesn't mean that just because there was such a big candle with selling, it will create any kind of resistance. No, nothing like that. The mixed candle held. Next means here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for half an hour. The market held yesterday's VPOC zone and there is no selling interest at all. See here, there are buyers somewhere buying at 20 and again buying at 24. Yesterday's VPOC zone was held for 30 minutes. There wasn't any solid seller interested and we saw a movement on the upside. Up to where, in the morning, we saw buying absorption. Okay, even with the buying, this move isn't that strong, it's not a solid move. But it's not there anywhere. It's just like there was normal volume. Just a level-to-level movement from the VPOC up to here. No solid buying, nor any solid selling. Okay, as soon as it touched this, again, it reversed. Now, when it came back here, there was some light selling here. Look at this, 19 quantity, but again, nothing significant happened. Here, this candle broke yesterday's VPOC zone. And see where the maximum selling happened, not inside this candle. It happened inside the next candle, see, selling of 39 and 21 quantity. Now, was this selling absorbed? Yes, the next candle made it clear. It was absorbed. Alright, but see here, the market came back down below that level as well. Meaning, the market did not give a clear-cut rejection from there. What was yesterday's VPOC zone was now as a support zone. Is now holding as a resistance. See, it got stuck here quite well. For half an hour, it faced this as a resistance. Now, what can we predict here? That the market has broken a support zone. Alright, and sellers are interested to sell at the lower levels. This selling activity did not happen pin to pin. But at the same time, there was no closing above anywhere either. Okay, meaning if it moves to a little bit advanced level, then it is possible that sellers become interested in this candle. Okay, meaning sellers may come at lower levels. Sellers showed their interest. A support zone acted like a resistance. Buying absorption was taking place here. Meaning, there were no buyers at all. Not a proper buy downside movement. Which is the biggest selling zone? This one, right. Again, it got stuck at the same place where there was some minor selling in this candle. And another downside movement, right. Even in this candle, there wasn't any solid selling visible. Today's market had very low volume. Given the kind of movement there was, if you analyze the last few sessions, you'll see that on any day when there was such movement, there was heavy volume on that day. It has been around 1 million, and today, sir, just look at the cumulative delta. 0, negative, then back to around 0, again negative, then positive, meaning again 0 and positive, that is, it's just going a little below the value of 0. Sometimes a little above, sometimes a little below, meaning it's just getting stuck around 0. There wasn't any heavy volume as such. If sellers are coming in, then buyers are also coming back in. See, if buyers are coming in, then look, it turns negative again. What was happening earlier? Positive, then negative, then again positive, then again negative, then again positive. Okay, it just kept hovering around zero. Another selling candle was formed, but there wasn't any solid selling in it. But again, it came above the level and gave a rejection. Buyers did come in fairly well, but still, there was no solid buying visible. Alright, from there itself, the market took another rejection, and at the time of closing, there was an upside movement which we couldn't even capture. So, what exactly happened in Nifty today? Today's action was mostly above the levels. The confirmation of levels from the volume profile was quite good above those levels. We saw buying absorption with solid volume. The VPOX zone of the skull was held without any selling activity. Where did it face rejection up to? Resistance. It faced rejection from the resistance. Again, the level was broken, but selling was seen a little later. But if the level was broken, then it was treated as a resistance. Got trapped nicely. On the downside movement, this same level acted as a resistance during selling. When that selling broke downwards properly. Okay. Downside movement. You can see it. Same, rejection from this level towards the upside, and when this very level was broken, it was an easy move from one level to another. Okay, same from here to here. And again, from this level, another rejection. After that, the candles at 310, 315, there was unnecessary buying happening. That was the moment. Simple rejection from every level. When that level was breaking, the same level acted as resistance, broke, and then the next support. When it came back up to that point, again it acted as resistance. Back to work. Today, this confirmation was given by the order flow. Order flow showed that there was very low volume, but when the market was getting stuck at those levels on the volume profile, that itself was giving a different kind of confirmation. Okay, this was today's analysis of Nifty. Now let's see what happened in Bank Nifty today. Just like Nifty, there was buying in the first candle in Bank Nifty as well. Sellers came in during the second candle. Alright, which were the buying zones in the first candle? This one, and the selling activity that happened in the second candle, all of it took place somewhere within this zone. Alright, have a look at this. In the first candle, the buying orders were around 27,800. The selling orders in the second candle were around 8K to 60K. Here, after the buying absorption, decent sellers came in, so the selling zones of those sellers acted as resistance. Unlike Nifty, the selling zones were not broken. It got trapped quite well. It came back on the pullback. We saw another round of selling within two candles. Okay. And the selling that happened within these two candles. Again got stuck at the same resistance selling zone on the pullback. Here, there was buying absorption once again. After that, the zones from where selling happened held quite well like resistance, and there was a rejection in the market. This was a quick analysis of Bank Nifty. Now, whatever doubts you all have, please unmute yourself and